All right, we'll go ahead and call our Thursday, February 22nd, 2024 meeting to order. Ms. Fashani, we read us out of closed, please.
Yes, no problem. I move that the Roanoke County School Board come out of closed session for the following: to discuss ongoing personnel matters under investigation pursuant to the personnel exemption at 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, and to discuss the investigation of a student matter pursuant to the scholastic record exemption at 2.2-3711A2 of the Code of Virginia. I also move to certify, to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meetings requirements under this chapter, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened, were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the school board.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Greenway.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Linden.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Clement.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Fashani.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. No action from closed. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. If I can have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Item 4, announcement of changes in the agenda. We have none. Approval of agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted?
A second?
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Greenway.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Linden.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Clement.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Fashani.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes, ma'am. Item 5.01, recognition of the month of February 2024 as School Board Appreciation Month. Superintendent Dr. Nicely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the school board. It's my pleasure to help recognize the month of February, which is considered School Board Appreciation Month. And so I'd like to read a resolution, issued by Governor Youngkin on behalf and recognition of our school board and the service of our school board members. And this is one of those that has a lot of whereases in it, so be patient. Whereas school board members are elected to represent the interests of students, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders. And whereas school boards play a vital role in ensuring that students across the Commonwealth have access to a high-quality, rigorous education and are best positioned to uphold educational excellence in Virginia schools. And whereas school boards are the governing bodies responsible for the oversight, success, and effectiveness of school systems across the Commonwealth. And whereas local school board members work with parents, businesses, education professionals, and other community members to create a shared vision of success for students. And whereas these decisions affect the present and future lives of children and chart a path to prepare all students to be competitive in a local, state, national, and global 21st century knowledge economy. And whereas School Board Appreciation Month acknowledges the contributions, dedication, and service of Virginia's local school board members. Now, therefore, I, Glenn Youngkin, do hereby recognize February 2024 as School Board Appreciation Month in our Commonwealth and Virginia, and I call this observance to the attention of all our citizens. So we won't ask the school board to pass a resolution to adopt that on your own behalf, but we do want to join the Commonwealth. You can see all these displays from our schools, thanking our school board members for your dedicated service to the students, the schools, the staff of Roanoke County, and we want to recognize and express our appreciation for your service.
Thank you, Dr. Nicely. Item 5.02, presentation from FCCLA State Officer, Ms. Skylar Fitzgerald. FCCLA Advisor, Ms. Kinzer.
Good evening, Chairman Hudson, members of the school board, and Dr. Nicely. My name is Amanda Kinzer. I'm the Early Childhood Education and Teaching Internship Instructor at Burton Center for Arts and Technology. I'm also the advisor to the Virginia FCCLA First Vice President. When this student first started talking about running for state office over a year ago, I thought it was just one of those things that we talk about, but we never follow through on. Because in 12 years of advising FCCLA, no one ever had before. I became hopeful when she submitted her application, but I knew we had a long way to go, preparing for a rigorous knowledge test, writing speeches, and learning to get comfortable speaking in front of a group. At the time, I would have described her as shy, and I had concerns about her delivering a speech on stage in front of hundreds of people. Before we even talked about that, she came into class one day and said, "Miss Kay, I wrote my speech. Do you want to hear it?" And when she read her speech out loud for the first time, I couldn't believe that I was listening to the same person. Her speech was well-crafted, clever, and she spoke with a clarity and confidence that I had never heard from her before. I knew in that moment that she had a real chance of being elected and that we were in for an exciting adventure. At times, we have soared through our new experiences, and other times we've stumbled. We've shared car rides, plane rides, laughs, tears, meaningful moments with our BCAT chapter members and FCCLA members from across the Commonwealth. I'm so proud of this young lady, and I value the relationship that I formed with her and her wonderful family. She's here tonight to tell you about her incredible journey. It is my honor to introduce Ms. Skylar Fitzgerald, Virginia FCCLA First Vice President.
Good evening, Chairman Hudson, members of the school board, and Dr. Nicely. My name is Skylar Fitzgerald. I'm a junior at William Byrd High School, and I attend Burton Center for Arts and Technology. I've taken 2 years of early childhood education at BCAT and plan to take teaching internship next school year. This year, I'm serving as the Virginia FCCLA First Vice President and as a member of the Board of Directors for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, better known as FCCLA. FCCLA is a career and technical student organization, or CTSO, for family and consumer sciences education. The main focus of FCCLA is the family and developing leadership skills. I've been involved in FCCLA for 3 years. My journey started as a freshman, where I competed at the FCCLA State Conference in the Professional Presentation Star event and won first place. After placing first at states and top 10 in the nation at the National Leadership Conference in San Diego, California, I wanted to take my FCCLA journey to the next level. My sophomore year, I decided to run for state office. This has been one of the best decisions I've ever made. As a state officer, I've had many incredible experiences. My role as a Virginia FCCLA First Vice President began when I learned to take minutes at the State Executive Council meetings and learned about parliamentary procedure. After going to my first meeting in June, I attended the National Leadership Conference in Denver, Colorado, and I served as one of Virginia's voting delegates. After returning home from the National Leadership Conference, I participated in several state-level events, like the Virginia State Fair and college days at Virginia Tech and Virginia State University. In October, I attended Capital Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. At Capital Leadership, I spoke to congressmen about the importance of CTSOs and Perkins funding. This was my favorite event all year because it felt like I was making an impact at the national level. In November, I attended the National Fall Conference in Sweet Home, Alabama, where I competed in Toys That Teach and won first place on the national level. All of these events improved my public speaking, networking, and leadership skills. My success would not have been made possible without the support of my chapter members, Ms. Kinzer, administrators, and my parents. Their faith in me has fueled my passion and encouraged me to go further in this organization. I'm proud to announce here for the first time that I was chosen to be Virginia FCCLA's National Officer Candidate. I will run for national office in Seattle, Washington this summer at the National Leadership Conference. This is my 4th appearance in front of the school board for FCCLA accomplishments, and I sincerely hope to appear before you again for the 5th time as a National FCCLA officer. Thank you on behalf of Virginia FCCLA for your continued support of our organization and family and consumer sciences education.
Very nice.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say congratulations. You certainly make our community proud, and we're excited for the opportunity you have in front of you. Whether you win that in Seattle or not, you're a champion to us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Great job.
Thank you.
Extremely well-spoken. Congratulations. I see Miss Adams back there. Do you have your camera with you, Debbie? Because I know this would be great for the Vinton Messenger. Oh. I'll go back under my rock.
I saw it today myself.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Very nice.
Item 5.03, School Spotlight, W.E. Cundiff Elementary School, Miss Ashley McCallum.
All right, where's the clicker? Here. Move this up a little bit. Chairman, school board members, Dr. Nicely, central office, and guests. My name is Ashley McCallum. I'm the principal of W.E. Cundiff Elementary, and I have the distinct pleasure of presenting the spotlight on our school this evening. W.E. Cundiff is a Title I school located in Vinton with a current enrollment of 510 students in grades preschool through 5. There are 27 classroom teachers in preschool through 5, 5 special education teachers, 1 special education coordinator, 2 Title I teachers, 14 specialists, 16 instructional assistants, 5 cafeteria staff members, 2 remediation specialists, 1 office manager bookkeeper, and 2 administrators. Each person is vital to our team, and we are known as Team Cundiff. W.E. Cundiff maintains a long-standing tradition of academic excellence by providing instruction that is engaging and purposeful, thus creating deeper learning experiences for our student population. In fact, in June 2023, we were one of 93 schools in the state of Virginia to receive the Continuous Improvement Award for consistently increasing SOL scores over the past 3 years, despite COVID challenges. So you may be wondering, just how do Team Cundiff students continue to demonstrate growth across all settings? Well, small group instruction is at the heart of our school's success. The instructional staff at WEC delivers daily small group differentiated instruction in reading and math to meet the unique learning needs of our students. In reading, we focus on implementing science of reading strategies to provide explicit, systematic instruction in phonics, phonemic awareness, reading fluency, reading comprehension, and vocabulary. WEC's reading team, comprised of the reading specialist and 2 Title I teachers, provides additional instruction in ready-to-read groups in 1st and 2nd grade to help provide those foundational reading skills. In math, we meet students at their instructional levels during small group instruction with appropriate materials, including manipulatives, real-world applications of skills, and the incorporation of technology. Field trips, guest speakers, and STEM projects at Team Cundiff enhance the educational experience and help prepare our students to be opportunity ready and prepare them with 21st century skills like collaboration, communication, critical thinking skills, and creativity. Implementation of STEM design briefs and challenges across the curriculum also require students at WC to think outside the box and strengthen their problem-solving skills by moving beyond a multiple-choice test. Technology is integrated into everything we do at Team Cundiff, from Canva projects to Breakout EDU to Dash and Dot robots to Minecraft EDU. W.E. Cundiff is proud of our progress in the area of PBIS implementation, and we have worked diligently to achieve Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 fidelity. Our students start off each day by reciting the Team Cundiff Pledge, led by a student on the announcements, sitting right here next to me, and reiterate the following tenets. We are safe, we are respectful, we are responsible, we are ready to learn. We are Team Cundiff. Our students earn Terrier tickets for exhibiting these behaviors each and every day and work towards filling up their class, grade level, and school buckets for incentives and extra fun. You know, like watching their principals turned into human Sundays. Other PBIS practices at WEC include grade levels, recognizing top terriers that we proudly display outside of our office. We'd have monthly Terrier ticket drawings, Terrier Token Tuesday. We select from our book vending machine, our positive postcard campaign, where each student receives a postcard from a staff member throughout the school year, the coveted golden steering wheel for appropriate bus behavior, and daily shout-outs on the announcements for students who are demonstrating the principles of the Team Cundiff Pledge. Our Title I program at Team Cundiff is amazing. The students love the new book vending machine we received at the beginning of the year, supported by Title I funding. We also hold several parental involvement events each year. Like this year, we've done Books and Bikes, Who Let the Dogs Out Mystery Night, and Pause for Pause, the Iditarod Challenge Night, to get students and families engaged in activities that further promote learning and fun. Team Cundiff's PTA does an amazing job of supporting the school, students, and staff in a variety of ways. The PTA sells spiritware. They purchase supplies and materials to supplement instruction and school-wide initiative. They hold PTA meetings to showcase student performances. They host family fun nights at restaurants and other businesses and sponsor teacher appreciation events throughout the year. In addition, the PTA organizes family engagement opportunities like the Glow Dance, Bingo Night, Paint Night, Fun Run, and our upcoming 50th anniversary celebration. WC has incredible community partnerships that further support our school's goals. We're fortunate to be able to partner with the Boys and Girls Club in conjunction with Herman L. Horn Elementary at our Vinton Baptist site. Team Cundiff students are awesome. Our student body loves to participate in extracurricular activities like the SCA, Terrier Team, and Girls on the Run. Our students and staff at Team Cundiff have fun. They participate in dress-up days, they celebrate student and staff accomplishments, and we even participate in our annual reindeer games competition with our crosstown rivals, Herman L. Horn. Our school pride is strong and is exemplified in everything we do. I honestly cannot brag about WEC staff enough. We're a family, and those that visit our building often comment about how kind and welcoming our faculty and staff are. They go above and beyond each and every day to meet our students' needs by building relationships that last a lifetime. In the school building, at recreation sports, and even at dance recitals. I'm beyond proud to be the leader of the successful, dedicated team. At this time, I would like to welcome WC's SCA President, Katherine Dodson, to tell you about Team Cundiff from her perspective.
Good evening, board members. My name is Katherine Dotson, and I am in Miss Penny's 5th grade class at W. Cundiff Elementary School. I have gone to W. Cundiff since kindergarten, and I have been a member of Student Council for 2 years. Tonight, I'd like to tell you a little bit about W. Cundiff. I love W. Cundiff because how everything works and runs. Staff and teachers make every day a better place for students to learn. Teachers and staff have many ways they keep the school a happy place, like Terrier tickets. And here's what a Terrier ticket looks like. Terrier tickets simply reward kids for good behavior and allow you to choose a prize from the prize box in the office. There are usually no prizes in the prize box because all the kids at W. Cundiff have great behavior. We also have Terrier Token Tuesday and many other ways we keep the school a happy place. We also have the Team Cundiff pledge that we say every morning when we do announcements. Miss McCallum and Miss Everhart are principals. I got to be a principal for a day. I loved the experience, and I got to have a great day with Miss McCallum and see what a day in the life of a principal was like. Miss Dresser is the W. Cundiff counselor. She is the best. I love her personality. She keeps the school a happier and better place. She provides fun activities such as random acts of kindness bingo that we played over Valentine's Day. Janitors keep our school clean and students healthy and get rid of all the germs our school has. Lunch staff provides delicious breakfasts and lunches every day. Thank you, board members. We appreciate all you do for Team Cundiff.
It's really hard to follow that, but I'll try to sum it up. So, I've been blessed to be a part of W. Cundiff.
My goodness.
In the past. Yes, that's my kindergarten picture from 1980 at Hardy Road Elementary. I was there as a student. And now, in the present, as its principal, to lead, advocate, and help our students reach their full potential academically, socially, and emotionally, and even more. As for the future of W. Cundiff Elementary, well, our renovation is right around the corner, and we couldn't be more excited for this opportunity. Plans and preparations are in the works to start in June of 2024 to provide the Vinton community with an updated building to continue our long-standing history of educational excellence. The future is indeed bright for Team Cundiff. As I conclude this evening, I'd like to leave you with two thoughts. My goal for the 23-24 school year has been to lead like Lasso at Team Cundiff, and I started laying the groundwork for this vision on the first teacher workday on August 1st, 2023. Notice my lasso attire. During my TED Talk, I attempted to motivate my staff with connections to the television series and left them with two final points that I would like to share with you about our school. At W.E. Cundiff, we embrace the power of learning. Learning is a lifelong journey, and we have the honor of guiding our students along that path. Let's lead by example and show our enthusiasm for knowledge, create engaging lessons, foster curiosity, and encourage a love of learning. By nurturing a growth mindset, we'll help our Team Cundiff students become lifelong learners. And last but not least, let's leave a lasting legacy. As educators, we have the privilege of shaping young minds and making a lasting impact on their lives. Let's strive to leave a legacy of compassion, knowledge, and empowerment. Let's equip our students with the skills they need to succeed, not just in the classroom, but in life. Together, we can and will make a difference. Thanks for the opportunity to give you a glimpse of the school and community that I've loved all my life, and will continue to lead proudly, wearing orange and maroon. Go Team Cundiff.
So, real quickly, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Obviously, I beam with pride, and I've never, we've got a lot of great people in this school system. We really do. But Ashley, you and staff, everybody that's included, but from the leadership down, I've never seen anybody that's more right in the place they should be. I mean that. So you're the reason that we do so well at Cundiff, and it starts at the leadership. And you are amazing and doing a great job for these kids. And I forgot your name. Is it Stephanie? Heather. Oh, so you did an awesome job too. We're proud.
And this is Catherine.
Catherine. Oh,
Yep,
okay,
Catherine.
Well, so anybody else's name I should throw out there? You did an awesome job. You were so well spoken. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank y'all for having us and letting us just share our day in the life with our school.
Thank you
you
for
for
sharing
everything
your
you do.
picture from kindergarten.
I'm glad you didn't
That
find mine.
hairstyle is coming back.
I'm just glad she didn't find mine.
Thank you, Ms. McCallum. Item 6.01, report by Student Advisory Council, Mr. Brennan Metz. Welcome, Brennan.
Hey, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, the board, and Dr. Nicely. Today, I bring you just a few new updates on the progress of our Student Leadership Conference this year. We have ironed out the theme of being great citizens in not just our own lives, but throughout all of America. And we feel this is going to provide us with a mindset we have yet to cover in the past couple conferences. And that is, what can we do as student leaders beyond just our education? It is my intention with this theme to get a message across that states leadership is not left behind. Whether you go to college, whether you move on to the workforce, when you start a family, it's all still there. You never leave that leadership behind, no matter what point you're at in your life. And I think that message is really going to get across with some of the speakers we're thinking of. The idea is that leadership skills we possess should not be lost within RCPS's walls. When you leave as a senior, they should instead be nurtured to be able to adapt throughout the changes in your life. At every step of the way, leadership skills must be utilized. Our planning meeting will iron out any last ideas next week, and we will move to find speakers that really fit this theme for this year. We usually have no problem doing that. We have a lot of great people around here who come in. And other than that, we have continued work in all high schools to make the SAC more well-known. I can speak for Hidden Valley. Now that we are going to be putting a plaque of the current SAC members each year so that students are more aware of who exactly is representing them. And there will also be a QR code and an information packet there as well, so they get an idea of what is it that they do and how can you get in contact with them easily. Thank you all for your continued support of the SAC. We look forward to updating you more on the choices being made for our conference very soon. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Brennan. Item 7.01, public hearing on the 2024-2025 school budget. Is there anyone here that would like to speak about the 2024-2025 school budget? All right. Item 8.01, hearing of citizens. During this portion of the meeting, citizens are invited to address the board on topics listed on the agenda for this meeting. In the interest of time, speakers must be parents, employees, students, or citizens of Roanoke County. We ask speakers to be respectful and civil in their comments, observing due respect of the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by public comments. Speakers should be aware that they may be held legally responsible if they make statements that violate the legal rights of others. For example, if statements are made that are defamatory or threatening. Comments likely to disrupt the board's work or prompt breach of peace are prohibited, and the speaker will be called out of order by the board chair. Speakers must address the board chair rather than individual board members. Speakers have 3 minutes to make their comments and will be signaled by the lights on the podium. When the lights turn yellow, please wrap up your comments and finish before the light turns red. Please be aware that the board members listen to comments but do not respond. Mr. Eric Russ. Welcome, Mr. Russ.
Good evening. So this night I'm actually not here for myself. I'm here on behalf of my father. He is a teacher at Oak Grove Elementary, and with Valentine's Day being last week, and School Board Appreciation Month being this month, his class has made Valentines. And if I may, I would like to pass them out to the board, support staff, leave the rest with Ms. Roberson, and yield the rest of my time. May I do that?
Sure.
And who made these? Your grandfather?
My father's class.
Oh, your father's class.
He teaches first grade at Oak Grove.
Okay, very nice.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, how sweet.
Thank you, Eric.
Oh.
Very nice.
I have a wall at work that I keep stuff that I get from, mementos, ads that I've made, funny invoices that I've put out for myself, Christmas cards that I've got. And if y'all have a wall similar, I implore y'all to hang this up on that wall for a couple months. Thank y'all so very much for all that y'all do, sincerely. We all care at the end of the day. We all want the schools to be better, and I'm glad that we're able to work towards that goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Russ.
you.
Appreciate that. Kara Price. Welcome, Ms. Price.
Good evening. Thank you. I am here tonight to request that the board support the proposed action item for the solar pilot project to move forward through a competitive procurement process. I'm the parent of 2 students and soon to be 3 at Clearbrook Elementary. I'm also an employee of Secure Solar Futures. We're commercial solar developers specializing in K through 12 schools with several local projects, including Roanoke City, Bedford County, and Lee and Wise counties. Obviously, I support clean energy for schools, and as a parent, I'm glad that you're considering a pilot solar project at Cave Spring High. Obviously, it's great to save money as Appalachian power rates have been rising. I'm especially excited about the work my company has done with solar workforce development in Southwest Virginia. Other companies offer educational programs as part of a solar agreement, but offerings vary, and not every company has successfully run a workforce development program in our part of Virginia. So again, thank you for your time. I'm just here to request that we move forward through a competitive procurement process. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, item 9, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, if we could, Dr. McClellan would like to make a presentation related to the consent agenda and some personnel changes. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Nicely. Absolutely.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This is probably one of the most fun things about my job, to introduce new people to you. So we have three new folks that we would like, not new, but not old either, that we would like to share with you tonight. Dr. Jamie Soltis, we would like to ask that he become our new deputy superintendent starting July 1st. He's currently assistant superintendent in Salem City Schools. And actually, he joined Roanoke County in 1999 as a science teacher. He's been an assistant principal, a principal at Glenver Middle, at Glenver High. He's been our director of secondary instruction. What I'd like to say about Jamie is he's charismatic. I'm not going to say too much. He's charismatic. He sets high expectations for people. He does walk the walk and talk the talk. He's the real deal. He's a great communicator, and he has endless energy to get things done. So I'd like to present Dr. Soltis, and you have a few words. You'd let them.
You guys know I'm not a talker. So I just want to say I'm glad to be home, and thank you guys for all you've done to support me. I told Dr. Nicely this morning that without my experience in Roanoke County, I would not be anywhere like I am today, and that includes being a student at Roanoke County Schools as a child. So I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys for the opportunity, and I won't let you down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
We got to get some pictures, so don't anybody go anywhere.
Okay, great. Second, I would like to share Kim Bradshaw's name for the new Executive Director of Elementary Instruction. As you all know, Kim's the principal at Green Valley Elementary. She's done a tremendous job there. We snagged Kim back in 2004 as a third grade teacher at Cave Spring Elementary. She later became assistant principal at Burlington Elementary. She was the principal at Fort Lewis Elementary, Oak Grove Elementary, and finally at Green Valley before proposing this new position. For Kim, I have to say she is a true instructional leader. She is one of the most professional people that I've had the opportunity to work with. She's forward thinking, and she's well respected by her peers, and I think she will do a fantastic job.
Thank you, Dr. McClung. Dr. Nicely, board, thank you so much for entrusting me with this position. I will not let you down, and I look forward to working with everyone and continuing Roanoke County's mission to make sure all students are opportunity ready. Thank you.
Last but not least, I'd like to introduce Tammy Newcomb as our new Executive Director of Administration starting July 1st. She is actually going to replace Dr. Stegall, who is retiring from Roanoke County. So, as you all know, Tammy's the principal at William Byrd High School, and she first joined Roanoke County as a math and language arts teacher at William Byrd Middle School. She was assistant principal at Cundiff, and yeah, I think I remember you in all these positions. That just shows. She was later the principal at Green Valley Elementary School, principal at William Byrd Middle School, and principal at William Byrd High School. So Tammy's, one of the strengths she brings to this area, she has knowledge of K-12 in Roanoke County Public Schools. She is a proven leader in our division. And one thing I'd like to say about Tammy is the relationship she builds with kids and her families and her community. She knows all the kids, and it's a really big school. And I'm proud to have her here.
Thank you, Dr. McClung, and thank you, board. And I look forward to working with Dr. Nicely and Dr. Soltis and Kim and the other folks in the central office, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are all front and center here.
All right, very excited for the three of you. It's always hard when you lose people and you lose the amount of experience that we have with Dr. Segal and others, but we're very proud to have you guys move forward and take the reins. Item 10.01, Power Pilot Project, Mr. Todd Kegels.
Mr. Hudson, members of the board, Dr. Nicely, just a quick review of kind of where we started and where we are now. We started investigating solar power about a year and a half ago. We've had many guest speakers come to our board meetings. I've spoken with references from various companies. We have informal proposals from various companies, et cetera. We investigated multiple possibilities in terms of procuring solar power, ownership models, PPAs, hybrid models, and such. Just as a reminder, the benefits of a power purchase agreement are no upfront costs, fixed pricing for the next 25 years, lowest cost per kilowatt hour, approximately $1.9 million in savings for what we're looking at Cave Spring High School over the life of the agreement, a system we don't have to maintain, that will all be done by the provider, and it provides for us experience with solar power at no expense to the school system. So tonight, we're asking for you to approve a request for us to issue an RFP to enter into a power purchase agreement for Cave Spring High School using an 85% offset, approximately 865 kilowatt system at a 0% escalator for a 25-year term. The additional terms would be defined in the RFP. So in summary, having investigated multiple models for a solar power pilot program and given the limited capital that is available for upfront investment, staff recommends that RCPS publish an RFP for a power purchase agreement for Cave Spring High School. The RFP will establish the exact system size, offset, escalator, length of agreement, and other terms. Upon selecting the proposal with the best overall value to the school system, the winning proposal will be presented to the school board for final approval.
Can I ask a question? Are we setting the term limits on the RFP, or do they get to pick what the term limits would be? I thought you said
We would
25
like
years.
to set the term limits because it will allow us to make a direct apples to apples comparison between proposals. If we don't define those terms, then we have to find a way to compare proposals that have different term limits, different system sizes, things of that nature. It makes a direct comparison really difficult.
Okay, I just would like to see something less than 25 years.
So this isn't we're going to get a competitive situation or to ask for more. This is basically what we brought to the work session, I guess, right?
No, we are going to put it out to, putting it out to RFP does provide for
Well, it's gonna be bid,
competitive.
but I
That's
mean,
right.
I guess I was under the impression that we were going, if we did this, that we were gonna ask for additional items or, it sounds like to me, we're really just doing what we talked about in the work session, correct?
This is consistent with what we've proposed in the past. Now, I'm not sure what you mean when you say we were going to ask for additional items.
Yeah.
So would you like him to, I guess, take the 25-year part out for the RFP and just see what comes back in different terms? I mean, can you write that in an RFP that, we'd like to see it maybe in a 10, 15, 20, 25-year scale? See
Yeah,
what the
we
differences
can
would
just
be, or-
leave the term specification out, but there again, that makes it real difficult to
Well,
compare
here's the
proposals.
reality. I haven't said this in public. I've said it in the works. Well, I guess I did say it in public with the work session. Is that we're going to make a commitment for 25 years for basically a mortgage. I get that we're going to save some money. Don't get me wrong. And there's no outlay from us. It's a deal too good to be true. Probably is. So for me, and I speak just for myself, you board members can make up your mind. First off, we're putting it on a brand new roof. We're doing it for 25 years. We can't change the terms. Technology is absolutely mind-blowingly fast now. So for me, if this is what we're going to do, it's a no. It's not a no to solar. It's got nothing to do with renewable energy, because I think we're gonna move forward every day with better but for 25 years, and for the cost of maintenance items that will come from these solar panels that we don't know about today on a brand new roof, it's just hard for me to swallow that that's a great idea for us. Again, I don't want anybody to look at this that, well, Tim's not for solar. Absolutely, for any renewable energy, but I just think this is not a good deal for Roanoke County Public Schools, and therefore that's the adverse position I take. If they were providing something, if there was something that Roanoke County Public Schools, there's only a few school systems in Virginia that's done this, right? So while I'd love to be on the leading edge, if you're in the 10 to 15 year range, that's one thing. And I go back to that copier example. If leases or these type of arrangements were good, everybody'd be doing them. But I think the real winner is the company that we go with. I don't think it's Roanoke County Public Schools. So for that reason, that's kind of where I stand now. What we talked about in some conversations, it doesn't sound like that's where we're going with this right now. So I thank you for all the work you've done. I don't want you to take this as a negative to the work you've done, but I think, we're put here to look after Roanoke County infrastructure as well. And for me, it just doesn't make sense right now in the context of 25 years.
Mr. Chairman. So, would you like to go? So I just like to thank you, first of all, Todd, for all your hard work, because I know you've been working on this for quite some time. I'm excited for solar to be a huge potential on our new CTE center. I'm not an expert in solar, I don't pretend to be, and I'm not an expert in RFPs. But what I feel, I agree with Tim, I would not want to be the school board 25 years from now that, for example, purchased a bad piece of land, and then 10 years later, they're saying, what the heck were they thinking, right? So it's just a long time, and the risk reward to me is not palatable enough. That's why I wanted to see if we put it out, but I didn't understand when you said 25 years just now that we were going to define it. Now, maybe you have to do that in this circumstance, I don't know, but if there's a way to make it more broad, to bring other companies in to drive the competition. I think when we spoke on the phone, I told you if I buy a car, I'm not going to go to the first dealership and buy a car. I'm going to compare pricing. So that's why it's attractive to put stuff out to bid to see what we get. And I understand you have to define the limits, but I'd just like to see if we can come up with something better, because what they presented, the risk reward is not palatable at this point for me. I feel like I'm on like an episode of what's one of those shows? Well, for me, the singing shows or something. But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for all your hard work, because I know we're just, it's not you, it's just where I just don't think we're there yet. And again, it's not solar, that's not there yet either. I did have an opportunity to talk to a software engineer for solar. I happened to bump into him at a Super Bowl party and talked to him for about an hour about solar energy and where the technology was headed. And he said, it's mind-blowing what's happening, and the maintenance is not very hard. It's like changing a filter on an HVAC. I mean, it's really not as difficult as it used to be. So it's very attractive, but this deal, I just don't think it's great for Roanoke County. And again, I come back to, do I want to be that school board member who made this decision for the next 25 years? And people are scratching their heads saying, what the heck were they thinking?
Well, and I think the thing to point out is we're just asking for permission to publish the RFP tonight. You guys will get to see the final contract and what the terms are. And so, at that point, you have the opportunity to say no if you feel like the contract is not a good deal for the county. We can leave off the the term specification. If you're interested in seeing others, the only ones that have been proposed were actually longer. They were 30 years instead of 25 years. And the reason for that is that the companies who put a $2 million solar system on the roof have to make that money back. So if they have to make it back in a 10 or 15-year period, obviously our rate would be much higher than what we're paying now. So it is not my recommendation to leave the spec off because, again, it allows us to compare directly each proposal. But if that's the board's will, then we certainly could do that.
Mr. Chairman, can I offer an idea, and I'll yield to Mr. Linden after this, but if this is such a good deal for Roanoke County Public Schools, and maybe it is, if we purchased it and we don't have the money in the educational funds, why would we not take this proposal to the Board of Supervisors and say, look, we don't have these funds, but this is such a great deal for us to save these funds over the next 25 years. How about you fund this for us, because it will pay itself back, and it's a really good investment. So then you have the purse strings sitting right there. But for me, and I don't know exactly the right terminology, but for a lease situation, it's not for me. I'll let somebody else talk.
And I think our recommendation is based on the fact that we don't have the capital to invest up front to own the system. That is the way you save the most money over, 25 or 30 years is by owning your own system. Obviously, somebody else isn't making a profit.
Right, but if it's that worthy of a system and it's going to enrich us, with energy and monetary, if we buy the system, which we already heard from Culpeper, that they bought their system. They're the only one, I think, in Virginia that maybe is
not many.
Not many,
yeah. So, if I think this proposal goes to the Board of Supervisors and we said, we're looking at this proposal for purchasing these solar panels or leasing the system for 25 years, if it makes sense, we should purchase it. I just, and then if it makes sense, it's very calculable because you know exactly what you can get. You can even get future savings, higher savings as you go down the road rather than we're locked into a fixed amount of savings that may be eaten up by maintenance costs that come from these panels. I know they say they'll take care of it, but we don't know what that's going to do to other systems that are on that roof. And I'm not an expert there either. Only, I dealt with it in residential. But again, there's just so many. I think Cheryl said it, risk reward is, for me, to lock school boards in for 25 years just doesn't make sense to me.
If I could add one thing to what you just said, I just would like to say publicly, I have done my homework. I've called around to numerous school boards. Salem, for example, was presented with this, and they're not chewing on it right now either. So there's a lot of school boards in the state of Virginia who are looking into this. Not everybody is jumping in 2 feet in yet. So I'd almost like to see others kind of take the plunge before we do and see how they fare and if it's really worth it. So that, again, that kind of brings some hesitancy to me because I'm talking to other school boards and like, oh no, it's not good enough deal for us either. And they're bringing it back and saying, well, can you do something better? Can you make it better? Again, I just don't think we're there yet. I need the companies to do better.
Mr. Lennon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And you may have already answered this question as when you said that some companies had proposed 30 years. Did anybody propose less than 25 years in what you've seen so far?
I don't have all of the proposals memorized, so I'm hesitant to say no, except that I don't recall any that were less than 25 years, and certainly none less than 20 years.
Is it possible with the RFP to ask for two different, one at 20 years, one at 25 years?
We certainly could do that. If that's going to be, if a 20 versus a 25-year commitment is going to be enough to make a difference to members of the board, then we could certainly do that. Again, if you do it at 20 years, we're going to pay a much higher rate, and the rate's going to be higher than what we're paying now. The whole idea was to start saving money immediately. I don't think that would benefit us, but if that's what the will of the board, we certainly could do that.
Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt anything to ask that.
It wouldn't hurt to ask that question. And I think as a pilot program over at Cave Spring, this makes sense. I think I'd love to see it over at the new CTE Center. And I think if we can get this up and running over at Cave Spring, it makes sense to me to let somebody else have that cash outlay up front, even if we're not going to make the same amount of money we would make if we were to purchase the system. But I'd like to see it move forward and at least issue the RFP for this, so.
I agree with I agree with Mr. Linden. I feel like it's a good idea for us to get different bids and see what the best proposal would be. But in general, I feel like trying this at Cave Spring High School with a new roof, having the warranty that's necessary to be able to move forward, is something that we should try. It's a pilot. It would just be on one school. It gives us the opportunity to have the solar panels and not have to install them, maintenance them, or remove them. So that takes that off of our plate. We also have the opportunity for the educational piece for our students. We do the PPA, so I think it's a good opportunity for us just to pilot it and see what we can do and go from there. I also think the 25 years, from what I've read, is pretty standard. These solar companies are trying to make money, so that's the life of the solar panel in general, so that's why those proposals are for 25 years. So I think that makes sense. And then our savings is greater if we do that. You're looking at the flip side of it being for 25 years is that you're also getting a better rate for a longer term. So the savings is greater for us. So
Anybody have any other questions?
Actually, I have a question too. Sorry. We talked before how some divisions were looking at kind of a chunk of change early in the game. So could you put together an RFP for that? So let's say there's a school in our division that needs a new roof. These companies are coming forward and they're saying, we will provide you a new roof so you get funding that you might not have otherwise. We'll put on a new roof for you in exchange for putting on a I don't know how much the new roof, almost $1 million, $800,000 roof. We'll go ahead and put panels on. So it's kind of like a quid pro quo. And you don't have the money up front. We're going to forward you that money now. And in exchange, we'll build you the new roof. And then we got our solar on your roof.
I did make some calls after you had mentioned that to me previously, and that, so we used $1 million. That's typically what it would cost to put a roof on W.E. Cundiff, for instance. It increased our rate by about 50%. I don't want to say the amounts because that affects our ability to negotiate through the RFP, but it did increase the rate about 50% to put another $1 million into it up front. So certainly, again, if that's the will of the board, we can request those numbers as well. But I don't see how that's beneficial to us in terms of then that puts us over what we're currently paying for electricity. So essentially what we're doing is we're just financing the roof through the utility payments. So we pay more for the utilities, that pays back the $1 million. And I don't see how that's beneficial to the school system.
It's not.
Right. But if you want us to put it in the RFP, we can certainly do that.
But you don't know what rate you're going to be offered though either.
That's true.
So, I mean, it's worth it. Is that a struggle to put one of those out? Because I'd just be curious to see what they come back with. If somebody wants to put a new roof on.
I don't think it's a struggle.
Okay. If somebody wants to put a new roof on Cundiff, that'd be great. And if the rate is a good rate or comparable to what it is now, I mean, they're making money on these solar panels.
Sure.
They're getting a lot of money for them, and the technology continues to get better and better. And in addition to that, they're getting government tax credits that we're not benefiting from. And the reason why we can't is because we're government, but they can because they're private. So.
That's another good, yep. They're not doing this.
Right, well, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 10.01 and allow staff to issue an RFP for a solar pilot project at Cave Spring High School.
Mr. Chairman, I do need to be clear on what you're asking me to publish because we've had some different ideas of what we would like to include.
20 and 25 years, correct?
I think what your recommendation is that we go with what's right here.
That's what your recommendation is, David?
Yeah.
Mr. Kegels has asked for some clarification. Yes, so if we could ask for 20 and 25-year periods.
Does 20 make a difference? I'm like Mr. Kegels.
Raise our rate, but it'll continue to allow us to compare apples to apples.
Yeah.
We're not saying we're going to do this project. We're
Yeah,
asking
I
for
don't
an
see why put them
RFP.
through the paces if we're not gonna, but it's whatever, yeah, whatever.
Well, if there's an opportunity to save money and it's not gonna harm us.
Well,
I
you,
think that's
you
a
don't have to
positive.
take the RFP. You're just getting a call for it. So can
That's
you
right.
do 3 RFPs, 25, 20, and then one with the bulk of change, if you will, up front?
Just to be clear, we do a single RFP and we
Okay.
would request pricing for the three
3,
scenarios.
okay. Could you do that?
Yes. So you're asking for 20 years, 25 years, and then 25 years with $1 million up front.
For exchange of a roof, and use that money for a roof.
Sure.
I don't think you would have to put that in the,
And then
Well,
I'd like
no,
to
some of
ask
them
you
do
if you'd
that.
add,
I mean, it ties into that.
You want a
Will
large
million
fry,
dollars
double
replace a
Whopper?
roof?
That's right.
Would $1 million replace a roof?
It would. At the elementary, size of the buildings, I mean, the elementary schools, yes, the high schools, probably not.
So your motion is just to clarify.
My motion would be to go ahead and allow staff to move forward with an RFP for the solar project, 20 years, 25 years terms, and $1 million up front.
All right. Madam Clerk.
no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sorry, Todd.
Yeah, sorry for the beating you took there.
I want to add three more scenarios to that. Can we?
10.02, request to approve increase in nutrition summer pay rates, Ms. Susan Peterson. Welcome,
Good
Susan.
evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. During the pandemic, the division supplemented all of the summer pay rates by $5 using grant funds. We would like to go ahead and revise the nutrition manager and the nutrition associate summer pay rate for this year to permanently add in that $5 for their pay rate. In talking with Ms. Estrada, that's going to be about a $10,000 cost to the nutrition fund, and they can handle that. So we just like to have this increase approved so we can adjust the pay plan and pay them accordingly. I did mention this at the very end of the work session the last time we met. The very end.
I'll make the motion to approve the increase.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Item 10.03, request to reallocate ESSER pandemic grant funds for an employee bonus.
I also presented the last work session that we have analyzed our pandemic grants that we have left over. We're going to have a grant lapse. We would like to take this grant lapse and have permission from the board to reallocate it within the grant to provide a bonus to our employees who are well-deserved. And we just want to show our appreciation. Our recommendation is that we go ahead and get approval to amend the grant to provide this bonus, but we wait until the end of May to calculate it what it would be so that we can firm up and get a little bit further along in the grant to have more money to be able to give the maximum amount of bonus possible. And then we would pay the bonus June 15th.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to say, anytime we get an opportunity to give back to our employees, we have a staff second to none, so I thoroughly, I'll make the motion to approve.
Second?
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Susan. We have nothing for information agenda. Item 12.01, hearing of citizens for non-agenda topics. And Dr. White, you were the only person on the list, and I know you were here when I read the rules to begin with, so I'm assuming I don't need to do that whole thing again, correct? All right, thank you for coming tonight.
So, members of the board and Dr. Nicely, thank you for your time tonight. I am Dr. Ryan White. I use he, him pronouns. Like several in this room, I'd like very much not to have to be here to speak out in support of our children and our teachers again and again. But the well-being of our children and the success of our public schools is far too important for me to step aside. I do want to take a moment, though, to thank the chairman for taking time to meet with Reagan and myself out in the community back in January. It's true, speeches are not very conducive to collaboration, but they do serve an important role in discussion. We do, however, need more collaboration, and that starts by recognizing our differences and embracing the beauty in variations. I hope that as a community, we can all come together to focus on the collective well-being of our public education system. Flawed as the system might be, it has remained instrumental in advancing our society and sparking the imagination and innovation of many young minds throughout the years, myself included. The same as we encourage our children to be opportunity ready and good citizens, we must set aside our differences in order to build a better school system, one that values and empowers teachers, staff, and students, regardless of their gender, their culture, their religion, or their name and pronouns. But because it's such an important topic, I do want to restate what brought me to these board meetings to begin with. Gender-affirming care saves lives. Just this very month in Oklahoma, a 16-year-old has died as a result of discriminatory policies. Their school district adopted policies, not unlike our own, that require them to use bathrooms aligned with sex assigned at birth. While using the bathroom, they were assaulted by a group of students who had targeted them because of their gender identity. The student was found dead the following day. And it's easy to dismiss this and say, well, that won't happen in Roanoke. But look around you. The stage is already set for this exact same action. Legislation and policies regarding the treatment of transgender youth that directly oppose evidence-based care that is recognized by professional societies across multiple disciplines is a serious concern, and it puts our children in harm's way. Many organizations, including the AMA, APA, and others, have recognized that there's natural variations in gender identity and expression, and they've published guidelines that promotes non-discriminatory supportive interventions. Time is short, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. And in closing, I'd like to borrow some words from the late Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "If you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." Rather than rehashing a fight of discrimination that's gone on for more than 50 years, this exact same rhetoric, let's find a way to move forward and lift up all of our children. Let's be like Team Cundiff and form a legacy of compassion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. White. Item 13.01, report by Roanoke County School Superintendent, Dr. Nicely.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just want to again thank the staff from W. Cundiff for doing our school spotlight this evening. I echo the words of Mr. Greenway in applauding the leadership of Ms. McCallum at Cundiff. It's extraordinary. It's exemplary. She and I actually got to participate about a month ago in the Virginia Education Summit in Richmond, and this was a meeting with the members of the both House and Senate Education Committee members, and Ms. McCallum joined me to present the case for funding for schools, and again, just telling those stories, from the perspective of a real life principal who's living this, was very powerful. So I want to thank her for doing that. Several things. First of all, the Virginia School Board Association has designated the third week in February as School Board Clerk Appreciation Week, with the goal of building awareness of the role of school board clerks play in assisting school board members, superintendents, and local schools. This was last week. We didn't get a chance to recognize our own school board clerk, Angela Robertson, as well as our deputy clerk, Edie York, and we want to thank them for their excellent work on behalf of the school board and the school division. Likewise, again, in recognition of School Board Appreciation Month, we want to express our appreciation to the school board members for your dedicated service to Roanoke County community and your support of the students and staff of the Roanoke County Public Schools. I would like to say that having worked closely with the board over the past 6 years, I'm proud to say that we have public servants on our board that always try to keep the best interests and needs of the students, staff, and schools at the forefront, so thank you. Congratulations to Chuck Lineberger for again being awarded several honors from the Blue Ridge chapter of Public Relations Society of America in recognition of his public relations work for Roanoke County Public Schools, so congratulations, Mr. Lineberger. I also want to mention the annual backpack fundraiser for our Education Foundation is coming up on March 16th at Green Hill Park. We're still welcoming sponsors and runners. So I'm looking at 5 great runners or sponsors in front of me. But if anyone seriously has connections to local businesses who might be interested in being a sponsor, please go to the Education Foundation website or contact Mr. Lineberger. Of course, all the funds raised from these events support our classroom teachers through the Classroom Grant Program, as well as the Golden Apple Teacher of the Year program, which will be coming up here pretty soon. We always like to celebrate and promote learning and innovation that's happening in our classrooms. This Saturday is our annual Roanoke County Science Fair, which of course is a showcase of the investigative and problem-solving skills that our students are learning in our science classes. This year, there are well over 100 entrants, and we want to thank our teachers for their dedication to working with these students on these important skills. And also, of course, we encourage the celebration of our students with our presence this Saturday. It's beginning at 12 noon over at Northside High School, so looking forward to seeing those. We also want to congratulate our students in the Center for Visual Arts Specialty Center, who recently took top honors at the New River Valley Fine Arts Center Art Show. 4 of our CVA students actually earned the American Visions nomination, which is the highest honor at the regional level. Our work toward our Opportunity Ready graduate certification program continues. Of course, we've expanded that pilot to additional schools this year. So we had a recent parent-teacher conference day. And again, with the twist that those schools at the elementary level as well as the middle school level, that these are student-led conferences where students actually are talking to their own parents about what they're learning. And that's very powerful work that our staff is doing to encourage that, this thinking about the thinking and communicating, articulating that the learning that they're done. If you're like me as a parent, you remember the days of your child coming home and, what do you learn in school today? And of course they'll say nothing, or how, and so of course as a principal and later superintendent, I always threatened, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Let me call your teacher right away and see if that's true. But I always knew better. Our teachers and our students, of course, are doing tremendous work every single day. But these student-led conferences are a way for students to actually articulate and tell their parents what they're learning, again, which is powerful. And of course, at the high school level, at those pilots, so they'll be doing their defensive learning coming up here pretty soon. Our elementary and middle school teachers, specialists, and supervisors are continuing to prepare for the significant changes in the Virginia Department of Education math learning and writing standards that are to be implemented the next school year. I highlight that to say that Roanoke County Schools is well positioned to make that transition with our literacy plan. There's still a lot of work to be done with that, but I want to acknowledge and thank our teachers and staff for the hard work that they are doing and will be doing. And I've asked our staff to provide the board with a brief update on the Virginia Literacy Act at the next work session. Finally, I'm excited that with the approval of the interim design and construction agreements for our new CTE Center and the renovations at Cundiff and Glen Cove Elementary Schools, we are, as of today, starting to see some tangible steps taking place. The process of clearing trees actually started today over at the site of the new CTE Center off Peters Creek Road. And we're going to plan for an official groundbreaking ceremony, hopefully sometime in June. If anyone has not had the chance to provide input on the name ideas for the naming committee for the new CTE Center, be sure to do that by tomorrow. I believe, Mr. Lineberger, that survey is open through tomorrow. Completion, likewise, of the renovations at William Byrd High School is just a few weeks away. I know Ms. Newcomb, I think, is still in the back, and she's very excited and pleased that that's coming around. I'm so excited. She toured me through the building just a couple of weeks ago. I'm just excited to see, for example, the new science labs and, of course, all the other changes that have been done to thoroughly update William Byrd High School. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nicely. Item 1401, reports and inquiries of board members. Would you like to go first?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I'd like to start by thanking all the students and teachers and schools who put together these banners. It's always so nice to come in during School Board Appreciation Month and see these banners up, and certainly they brighten up the room. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that took the time to do that. Our school spotlights every time, and Ms. McCallum did a fantastic job tonight. They just remind me of all the great things that go on in our schools. So great presentation tonight. Thank you very much. And you're doing a terrific job over there. So Not sure how many people saw this in the newspaper a couple weeks ago. I think it was on a Sunday, but Alexander Boone's editorial that he wrote, extremely well written on what he plans to do down there on the Pogues farm property. And it really did not get much, I didn't see it get much traction in the paper. I haven't seen it posted too many other places, but it was factual. We're very fortunate, in my opinion, to have a local developer willing to, reputable local developer wanting to take that land to the next phase and put a very nice development on there. So as much as Fashani noted earlier, we can't control, or we don't know what they were thinking 20 years ago when they purchased the land, but as Dr. White said, we can move forward. And I think that's what he will do when that land sells, hopefully. And it should be, knowing Alexander as I do, it should be a very nice development that he does. And we've taken a little bit of a beating, it seems, in the press on that. And I don't know that it's deserved, but Alexander's article was extremely well written. I'm going to start to sound like a broken record every month talking about Mr. Kegels and the job he's doing there with our facilities and maintenance. But I know we just got 3 new HVAC units out there at Bonsack to the tune of almost $750,000, and I know they appreciate that. And just the job that you continue to do day in, day out is fantastic, and such an improvement over where we were when I first came on the board. So wanted to thank you again. And then just want to congratulate our state champions from the past couple weeks. I know Darren Witcher over at William Byrd won a state title in wrestling, along with Ethan Flowers and Chase Miller from Glenver. So that individual sport is one where it's one-on-one, and you're truly a state champion when you win a wrestling title. So also congratulate Connor Wilkes on 4 state titles there for the Glenver swim and dive team, and the Glenver boys swim team for winning that. So good luck to those teams still in basketball. Northside and Cave Spring both playing tomorrow night down at Castle Coliseum. So if you get an opportunity, should be a couple good games down there. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Linden. Mr. Greenway?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so you took away the wrestling highlights, but thank you. That it's truly the one-on-one sport, and when you're a state champion with wrestling or tennis or golf or something, you did it on your own. So that's a great accomplishment. We got all the school board. Like Mr. Linden, I would like to thank all the schools that participated in thanking us as a school board. And I say this every year. It's kind of embarrassing because what we do in comparison to what staff does and what administration does for our kids and our communities, we do very little in comparison to all that staff does. And we're so fortunate that we have the staff and administration and the folks that make our schools one of the best schools in the state of Virginia. And I don't just say that. We've got charts and statistics to prove that that's the case. So we're truly lucky. I want to thank our school board clerks. We couldn't be prepared without you. We appreciate everything you all do. Going to our new promotions tonight, Ms. Bradshaw, congratulations. We're lucky to have you on side, and I think we're just really bolstering. We're just really showcasing Roanoke County talent with the folks that we can bring in, and I know we're going to miss those that are leaving us, but hopefully with the good relationships we can kind of lean on each other to help each other. But we're tickled to have you. Tammy, obviously, we're going to miss you at Byrd. And again, I said this about Ashley. Ashley, you're exactly where you should be. Tammy, I think maybe we shouldn't approve that part of it and leave her at Byrd because she embodies the Terriers, and we appreciate everything you've done for our community and for Byrd and seeing the construction. But it's more than our renovation. It's the the pride that you put in that school, the kids. Somebody said it tonight that every kid's name, and that's true. And you'll ask me, and I'm like, no, Tammy, I don't know who that is. But every kid in that school, and we are so proud to have had you for the years we've had you. And not that you're going anywhere, but, you know, we've got a good staff there. You know, the talent, you know, pool coming behind is phenomenal as well. So, you know, we're fortunate in Roanoke County to be in this position and to see our people promoted. And then I guess I got to call him Dr. Soltis. So at least there's somebody that will be just a little less or not as good at golf as so I've got somebody. So we've got us another player.
Is he a ringer?
Oh no.
Ah.
No, he's no.
You're an anchor.
But I just want to welcome you back. I, you know, can't tell you how excited I am, as you know, and I've told everybody up here, whether it's this year or next year will be my last year on the board, and I am just thrilled that you're coming back home, and I think staff and everybody that's a part of Roanoke County Schools are going to be thrilled with your leadership, and that you're back in our fold, and we couldn't be prouder to have you. So thank you and welcome back. And thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I've got.
I also want to say thank you for the teachers and students that provided the posters and the gifts and the goodies. It's really sweet. I love the fact that we do the spotlights and the recognition. I think it's great to see what our schools are doing. Ms. McCallum, you did a wonderful job. Your enthusiasm comes through. And then seeing Skylar Fitzgerald and all of the opportunities that she's had through the FCCLA, it's great to hear. We do have so many things that are happening in our schools that are so great. Some of us were able to stop in and see the apprenticeship showcase, which is great to see all of these businesses. They're providing opportunities for our students in these apprenticeship program. We also saw the Governor's School project winners. We had winners from every high school, so every high school in the county was represented. Cave Spring had 20 students that were recognized for their projects. I had an opportunity to see some of their boards, and they are truly impressive projects. Dr. Nicely also mentioned the Roanoke County Science Fair that's happening on Saturday, so I hope to be in attendance there and see projects that our students have put together. I think the way that I would like to use my time is to do kind of my own spotlight for Cave Spring. We do have all these wonderful events that are happening. And this month I had an opportunity to visit Penn Forest Elementary. The principal there is Jenny Griffin, and she is extremely enthusiastic. She's a lot of fun to be around, and she put together a big STEM night, and I was able to attend, and it was an impressive event. She estimates that the attendance was approximately 1,000. That was between the students and their families. And I can attest that there was a line all the way down from the front door down the sidewalk. There was no parking at Penn Forest. There was no parking at the South County Library across the street. So it was very well attended, and it's well attended because Ms. Griffin and her staff do such a wonderful job. The teachers provide STEM projects in their classrooms, so these are fun and interactive. A lot of them are projects the students can take home, like hot air balloons with coffee filters, which was really cute, and some harmonicas that the parents might not have loved as much. But they do a great job, and it's a great opportunity for parents and teachers to interact. Ms. Griffin also recruited groups from the community, which was really amazing. Mill Mountain Zoo was there, so my daughter and I were able to touch a boa constrictor, which was really cool. And there was a ferret and a tarantula. There was no touching the tarantula. The Water Authority was there. They did some competitive games. The robotics team from Burton was there, which was really cool to see our own students there interacting with some of the younger students, so that was great. The Lego Robotics was there. She also had quite a few groups from Virginia Tech, so the Virginia Tech Physics Department was involved, and the Science Outreach from Virginia Tech. They brought in rockets, which were really, really cool, and then they had a contraption that makes marshmallows expand, which was also very neat to see. And it's really cool to see young adults that were teaching our young students and interacting with them. The kids really loved it. So overall, it was a great experience. Roanoke County Sheriff's Department was there to provide free hot dogs. Chris's Custard was there with their truck, was also a huge hit. And they are also a former Penn Forest family. So it's awesome to see them come back to Penn Forest. So there's a ton of events happening. I hope to get to as many of them as I can. And then I hope to be able to tell you guys about them. So thank you.
you, Ms. Clemens. I'd like to start out. Most of you
skip me
probably.
tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh. You already talked enough about the solar. So.
No, but
She's cutting you
She's got
short.
another
that's because I
idea.
did my homework.
I've got my list here, and I have to mark stuff off because David's recognizing my athletes and my teams. You're go right ahead.
Todd, you got another idea she wants to give you, so.
Poor Todd. Todd, thank you. So I don't want to echo everything else Bree said, but just a quick congrats to Dr. Solstice, Mrs. Kim Bradshaw, Mrs. Tammy Newcomb. So excited to have you guys join our team. Couldn't find better staff than y'all to join us. And we just really look forward to having you up here and know that with confidence that you'll continue the mission of excellence that we work so hard at RCPS to give to our students, and then of course to always make them opportunity ready. So thank you for accepting those positions, and we look forward to seeing your smiling faces up here. The student-led conferences, I'm so glad we're doing those now, Dr. Nicely. It's one of my favorite things. Just glad that the teachers are embracing that, the students are embracing it. I think it's an excellent way for our kids to learn to speak publicly and to showcase themselves. We had a fantastic night at the Registered Apprenticeship evening, the showcase at Green Ridge. It was a wonderful turnout. The culinary students made great little treats. There were lots of smiling students at the opportunities. It was great to talk to the students as they were in line. I mean, the lines were 10, 15 people deep. They were really almost interviewing on the spot with these various companies, and you could see the enthusiasm. Actually, it was palpable in the room. I thought it was very well organized and very well run. And the comments from the students was just fantastic. I wanted to just, you mentioned it, Dr. Nicely, about the BCAT survey. I didn't realize it was ending so soon, but please get your comments in on the survey, the new naming of our CTE Center. I'm excited to hear what everyone's thoughts are on that. I wanted to remind folks, I don't think anybody has mentioned this, but there's a presentation that's designed for elementary school parents. This is important. Elementary school parents and caregivers, everybody's welcome in the community. This is a community effort. It's March 11th. It's being held at Penn Forest Elementary School, and March 18th at Glen Cove Elementary. This is a presentation that, again, is specifically designed for elementary school parents and caregivers on internet safety, risky behaviors, substance trends. We know that our wonderful Governor Youngkin has taken a huge initiative in the state with regards to fentanyl poisonings, and that's exactly what it is. They're poisoning our children, and we need to make sure that our parents are aware. Childcare is provided, so there's no excuses not to come. And I think it's really critical that we encourage our community members to come hear what folks have to say and what we can do as parents and caregivers to make sure our students and our loved ones are as safe as possible. I want to say congratulations to our spelling bee winner, Kevin Morsink from Hidden Valley Middle School. I was sick that morning and I could not make it. I was sad, but Dr. Nicely told me what the winning word was, or we couldn't remember what it was. It was hard to pronounce. What was it? Notabilia. Yeah. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Skylar, the student that was here from the FCLLA. What an amazing job she's done. And I know she's gone now, but I wanted to let her know that I almost had tears in my eyes when she was speaking, because believe it or not, I was a shy little girl once too. I know that's hard for y'all to believe, but I really didn't like to speak. I know. But I blossomed at some point in my life, and I enjoy public speaking, Tim. So she will be a wonderful leader for our community, and I'm excited to see what she's done so far, and I know she'll go even farther. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for remembering me.
You missed one date on the elementary. Do you
Is
know?
there another date?
Yeah, the Herman L. Horn, is that April, what is that, April something? April 2nd.
And thank you for mentioning that, Ms. Facciani, and also Mr. The reason they're listed separately is because the one at Horn is actually a Title I event, so we kind of do it differently, but it's April 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, the flyer that I have was just March, and I just figured I'd hit March.
Yeah.
So
and
March.
that's right, and childcare will be provided, all three of those. We encourage all the elementary parents across the county to get at least one of them.
It's at 6 p.m.
Yes, yes.
I'm good now.
All right. All right, first I'd like to start out, if you noticed when you first pulled into the building, the new sign out front, I'd like to thank and recognize the staff that took part in that. That looked really nice. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate everything you do, and I'll reiterate what Mr. Linden had said earlier. I know that I call you a couple times, probably a week, for different things, and you're always on top of it. Your staff are great. Just let them know that we really appreciate the hard work they're doing, and we appreciate the management that you're taking everything and making sure that it's a well-oiled machine. It's a lot of buildings, a lot of aging infrastructure, and you're doing an amazing job for us. Also like to recognize the Glenver High School boys swim team for their state championship. I'm sure we'll have them here to recognize them hopefully next month. And our individual wrestlers, the Ethan Flowers, Chase Miller. We also have two females that are going to states this weekend, Evie McDowell, Avery Steger. So that's exciting to see how they're going to do. Thank you, Ms. McCallum, for coming out and basically showing us how great W.E. Cundiff is, and I can't wait for the remodel to start. It's going to be wonderful for you guys out there, and for Catherine to speak so well at such a young age. Amazing, bright smile. And I'll basically second. I feel like when I'm speaking, I'm always just kind of filling in. FCCLA, Ms. Kinzer, what a great job she did public speaking and coming tonight. And lastly, our promotions. I really feel good about this. These are very intricate parts of our operation. And Tammy, I know you're going to do a great job. And Kim and Jamie, I'd like to say a couple personal words. I got the opportunity to work with Jamie at Glenver High School and Middle School when I was the SRO there. And Jamie took a really big part in my own professional development, encouraging me to go back to school and finish my bachelor's degree. He helped me through that process, and he's kind of a mentor to me at a young age. And I have personally watched Jamie feed children in our community that the families didn't have the money. I've watched him buy Christmas presents for families that were in need. You're a great guy, and I can't think of a better man to put in the position. And I'm really looking forward to what you're going to bring to us, and I'm glad you're back home. And that's all I have. Good night. Meeting adjourned.